Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out, y'all.
Give me a second, Heather. Let me break this down correctly, okay, Heather?
You can get a second, Sway.
Every time he comes up, the numbers changes.
I know, that's what's crazy.
I know, man. Every time he comes up, the number changes.
It's crazy.
18 Billboard Music Awards.
Crazy.
18 Billboard Music Awards. 8 Grammy Awards, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
And to date, worldwide sales stand over 43 million albums. It's way more than that now. You need to cut it.
Way more.
And 75 million records overall. Man, this dude, one album sold 20 million. What can you say about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Way too high. You need to
cut it.
Them sales way too high. You need to cut it.
Usher Raymond is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Usher, baby.
What's up, man? How you been, bro?
Man, I can't complain, man. I've been good, too.
Man, last time I saw you, your ass was in my screen, man.
They may not know what that means. You have to give a little backstory, make them understand.
Okay. First of all, there's a movie out called coming this Friday called Hands of Stone.
Yeah.
And it's a story about the one of the most famous boxers ever, Roberto Duran.
Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone.
Hands of Stone. That was his nickname. And one of the biggest rivalries in boxing ever was between Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. And in this movie, Usher does an excellent job at playing Sugar Ray Leonard.
Get it?
Down from the afro to the nuances.
And then the ass, so you can explain.
Then the ass.
Okay,
now,
cool.
I've never saw
you wouldn't admire my ass. You was just saying I'm in the movie and I have a sex scene.
Yeah, it's a sex scene.
That was why I was on his screen.
And it caught me off guard.
So he wasn't just sitting at home looking at Usher's ass.
No. I did still frame it, though. I just kind of froze it right there on Usher's ass.
Pass that.
No, because if you see a great ass, you put it on your wall and you want to get...
Okay, enough about my ass. Let's talk about my movie.
Sway?
No. You know how some people put bodies on the... Well, no, hold up, man. Hear me out. You put what you aspire to be, what you aspire to have.
Right, body goals.
Yeah.
Usher's ass?
Hey, that's just abandon. Abort.
Pull out.
Oh, pause. Abort. Let's just get off the conversation of my ass.
All right. Okay.
Go see the movie, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
What are we talking about?
26th Friday, y'all see my Manos de Piedra.
Yo, but you know, I remember when you first came on the big screen with the faculty, right? And how you've evolved as an actor. Here's the point of the ass. Okay. Not everybody is willing to go to those lengths to portray a character and commit to a role.
So let me explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
So I read Sugar Ray's book, and Jonathan Jabakowicz, he did an amazing job. Who's an independent director out of Venezuela. He did an amazing job of writing Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran's story. He tells a story from the beginning up into the current day of his life. The most intimate details of where he comes from. But I read Sugar Ray's book. And Sugar Ray, this is not a movie about Sugar Ray, but as you know, there were the 2 fights. The first, which Sugar Ray lost. If you're a boxing fan out there, you know what I'm talking about. And then the second fight, which, you know, most people do know by the name of No Mas. It's where Roberto Duran, basically, they say he put his hand up and said No Mas in the fight. Details all in the movie. But I read Sugar Ray's book. And in his book, prior to the second fight, he did what was the golden rule. He had sex before his fight because he was just that confident. And I think something happened to him between that first and the second fight that gave him a confidence, and not necessarily an arrogance, but just... And I captured that. I really feel like when I'm walking into the ring the second time, what I felt from him and what I got from him from in the book, that's why I put that scene in there. I literally went to Jonathan and said, I really think you need to put this scene in there. Not just because I want to have a sex scene. I really do think that it's important because boxers know that that's a golden rule. So if someone was that confident with their strategy, that knew, I got this, it right there sets a purpose and a destination for the scene. I think that we need to do it. And he said, okay, cool, we'll shoot it. We'll see how it comes out. So I wasn't letting that get by. I was like, I'm going to go all the way. So I was naked and everything. It was
the ass.
Okay, let's get off of the ass, man.
All right.
I gave you a basis of what it is, but no, the movie is about a lot more than my ass. It's actually an incredible film about Panama, and also to Manos de Piedra, for all of my Latinos out there. You understand the importance of who he is. I looked at the 30 for 30 ESPN special right before we started shooting the movie, and it just reminded me, it took me back, and then you hear guys like Mike Tyson talking about, nah, man, that was never, like, the rage that Roberto Duran had, man, it fueled, boxers like me. I wanted to be like him. And then I realized, like, oh shoot, this is like, for real, like, Roberto Duran really has molded a lot of boxers in our time. Like, just to understand that psychological part of it, like that idea of intimidation. I can't say it only came from Roberto, but I don't think there was anyone who did it better. There was no more, I don't think there was a more macho guy who could intimidate somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was poised, always like perfect and incredible, but he got that man so far off his square that he lost the first fight.
Damn.
So I think that it's an amazing story. One, if you know it, but then also two, it's a virtuous story about what it is to have nothing. Boxing is a poor man's sport, and he made a career of it. And I mean, the rest has been history. Of course, I'm really happy to play one of our icons. I think that Sugar Ray Leonard definitely is and should be recognized as one of our African American icons. He did something that was not able to be done in his time. To be recognized by major brands and have the type of recognition and money that he did, and then also to still have it all together. He's not punch drunk. He's handled and managed his finances incredibly well. That's the type of examples that I think we all need in order for the future to continue to move in the direction that it is and has for African American people. So I'm happy that he was okay with me playing it. As a matter of fact, I reached out to him when I got the call from Jonathan Jabokowicz. I said, I want to reach out to Ray and make sure he's cool with this. Great that you want me to do it because I can dance and I can move around well, but I'm gonna put the work in, to make sure that I get it. So I reached out to him, and I don't think I got it until Byrne, his wife, was like, yes. So thank you, Byrne, and man, you guys got to see the film. It's really great.
An honor, Usher. I'm a boxing fanatic, so
you gonna love this shit.
Yeah,
man.
no, I saw it.
It's dope.
Remember,
man.
I told you what I saw. No, but what I like is it captured what the social significance of what was taking place with the Panama Canal and Roberto Duran's influence on his community, because he kind of been demonized in a sense. People only saw one dimension of Roberto Duran that the media painted. When actually he was doing a lot for his community. He was a kind of a live wire of sorts. And then he went through a depression after he lost the second fight with Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard,
and then he made a comeback, and so it's an excellent movie. You did a great Ray Leonard, man.
Thank you, man.
That's what I was like. How is he gonna pull off Ray?
When he rebounded for the Davey Moore fight, Duran definitely reminded you why you loved him. And sometimes it takes being humbled by a loss. Our flaws make us who we are. The reality is no one can judge or understand what it is to be in a boxer's shoes. You can play football, you can play baseball, basketball, soccer, any of those sports, but you can't play boxing. It ain't a play sport. You get in there and you really have to mentally be prepared and be strong, man. That intestinal fortitude to push through somebody trying to tear your fucking head off is crazy. They want to eat your lunch. They want to kill you, and you have to manage to still make it through that. That's a lot, man. And the reality is, for his community, for who he was, for what he represented for Panama, which is recognized in the story as well, and the conflict between Panama and America, all of that, they touch on that in the beginning of the film. And then, by the way, his father was partially American. So he's got this conflict and never met his father, but he was a man of the people. He was a man who gave back to the people, who probably gave more than he should. And to be kind of, knocked down or whatever you want to call it by so many because of that one moment or any moment in his career, you still have to look at the full perspective of the person. And, you know, the film, I think it recognizes all of that.
Let's play this song, man, with you and Ruben Blades called Champions.
So I did this one for the movie.
Okay.
It actually is going to be on my up-and-coming album. You know, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about it. Let's check it out. This is for the film, though.
Okay.
It's something different, y'all.
888-742-3345. Usher here.
Hands of stone, man. It's the Piedra.
From the moment he insulted you, he knew that he could get in my head and cause me to stand toe-to-toe with him. I've never lost. I don't lose. Angela, talk to Don King. Duran should fight no one but me. Set the rematch immediately.
Man, you embodied that Sugar Ray role right there, man. That was Usher. Raymond is here. We're talking about Hands of Stone in theaters this Friday. Story of Roberto Duran. Usher plays Sugar Ray Leonard. We was talking about the No Mas match, you know, because I know you got the inside scoop now that you've done so much studying. Did Roberto, when he stopped the fight, stop fighting, did he ever say No Mas?
Who knows?
Okay.
The reality is history has told that story, and now the story that is to be told is the one that's a part of his legacy and is in this film. And hey, if you choose to recognize people for, you know, what may be perceived as a decline, you're only looking at half a person. We all have shit that we go through. We all have moments of tumultuous reality. But the reality of it is he did rebound. And we all do. We all do get back up when we get knocked back down. At least we should. We should feel like that's what it's supposed to be. We should lift each other up to be that. And I think, you know, Jonathan did a really great story of giving you the full perspective, because as a boxer, I think at some point when, you know, the fame, the money is all, you know, you get all of that, what is it really about? It's about freedom. Yeah. And I think at some point he realized that I don't have any freedom. I'm actually a boxer, and all that I have is the ability to go out there and make money. But is it about money or is it about winning? And the reality is, you know, everybody knows this about Roberto Duran. You know, in between his fights, he would eat and he would just live.
Smoke
cigarettes. He would do it all.
Party, yeah.
And it might have been a little bit more complicated to lose this 40 pounds that he had put on before that second fight. So you think about what that mentally does to a boxer.
Yeah.
And you think about, you know, just what it does to also to know that, you know, the managers that you have around you. I mean, the business of boxing is not a good one. Yeah. I mean, there's an ugly side of it, and then there's a side that we all love, which is, you know, the fact that they stand in a ring and beat each other to death, and we celebrate it. What does that say about us as people?
We're barbarians.
We're barbarians, man. But I think that, you know, ultimately, whatever was said, that's not the point. That was just the reality of how it's been publicized and how you've seen it in times. The No Mas
marketing flag.
Yeah, right. And if you've seen that 30 for 30 ESPN special, it gives you another perspective, you know. And I think in some ways, Roberto Duran wants to put that to rest. He wants to let. I'm not bearing that fucking cross forever. Yeah, that happened. That's not who I am. That's what happened at that moment. Yeah. Imagine if we all had to just live in one fucked up moment of our lives. I mean, we wouldn't be able to move forward now, would we? So yeah, let's celebrate it. And that's what I love about what Jonathan Jabakowicz caught. He caught the celebration of a culture and him. And also too, we were talking about the Cresto Negro and the reconnection, and a lot of times how finding that reconnection to religion, or what we perceive as religion and idea, that was a serious thing for them, and it's a real ritual that they do have to go through. They crawl on their knees from Panama all the way down, all the way to the canal, and what actually is on the other side of it's called the colon. And that sounds so crazy. But the reality is, it's like this purging that they have to go through, and there's this this thing called the Cresto Negro, where they take around the proscenium and then they carry it back into the cathedral where it rests. I went to see it.
Yeah, you went to actually see it.
I took a picture on my Instagram. If you go look at it, you know, I saw it, and but it's a black Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
the real one. All right,
Right.
yeah. Okay, Heather.
Yeah, Jesus was born in Africa. Anyway, not just a little geographical. You mentioned like something mentally people have to go through. You've been on a million stages, the Grammys, to this, to that. How do you gear up then mentally to take on such a legend? Like, how do you sit in the room? You like do punches in the mirror? Do you shadow? But how do you gear up mentally to do something like that?
For me as an entertainer, how do
Actor,
I prepare?
as an actor.
Oh, as an actor, how do you
Actor,
prepare?
yeah.
Well, like I said, you can play all these other sports. You have to physically understand. Like I said, you can play football, baseball, basketball, soccer. You can't play or act boxing. You literally have to get in the mind state of it. And I didn't prepare for the role like it was a role. I prepared as a boxer. So one, I grew my hair out, so I had a big old afro. I'm walking around. People looking at me like I was crazy. I was trying to figure out if I was going to dread it or not. But
Shit went it there, bro.
you know, she did. She took it all the way back. Anyway, I had to get in and work with trainers. I worked with Xavier Biggs in Atlanta, Georgia at Decatur Gym. I worked with Sugar Ray Leonard out in Los Angeles. I worked with Freddie Roach out in Los Angeles. I worked at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn. You know, and then I also too got in the ring and sparred with amateurs. Like once I knew how to protect myself and I knew how to counter and understand how to move, I wanted to move like Sugar. I wanted to feel like him. So I stood toe to toe with him. Had him throw punches at me. You know what I mean?
wow.
Wow. What was that like?
He caught me a couple of times.
What did it feel like to be hit by Sugar Ray Leonard?
I mean, he took it easy on me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sway? He wasn't trying to knock me out. but he really did want me to understand what it was to take that punch and be able to, if you want to win, you got to be able to stand in there. And me and Edgar Ramirez, we exchanged blows, in the ring. It was a lot.
Yeah.
There was one time where Jonathan, he said, I'm not gonna cut unless you guys stop. I don't think we really understood that. So 10 minutes later, rounds go 3 minutes, and that's it. We went for 10 minutes straight.
That's hard.
That's bananas.
And the audience was going crazy. And it's the second fight too, by the way, while we were shooting. So I'm mocking him. I'm all over him. He's mentally going crazy. He's drooling at the mouth. I'm laughing at him. I'm sticking my head out. I'm, throwing a bolo punch at him. It was crazy. And we finally cut, but we had to mentally prepare as boxers. We couldn't go in and act. I let him know, listen, I'll apologize because I might hit you a couple of times. I'm just that nice, and I'm gonna get you. So, and this is when I win. So be prepared. Let's go.
And don't get me back.
No, he couldn't touch me.
He couldn't touch you, right?
No, he couldn't touch me.
Yeah.
No.
He literally couldn't know.
He wouldn't tell you couldn't touch me. I wouldn't let him.
Yeah?
Yeah, no. Sugar Ray Leonard was if you go back and look at that fight, Sugar was so prepared, man.
Yeah. I looked at it last night.
My man, he threw eight everything at him. He threw jabs, hooks, right. He was slipping all of that shit like it was nothing.
Yeah.
He was so prepared. He was so prepared that he had sex before the fight.
Yeah. That's how prepared. That's
Think
preparation.
about that, man.
And his wife was trying to stop him. She's like, "What are you doing?"
She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's my rules this time.
Yeah.
You got this."
Well, Usher, a lot of people wanted to have sex with you after that Snapchat of your schlong, baby.
Oh, well, where do you see?
What was the motivation behind that?
Damn, what a transition.
So we're talking about ass and song. All right, what's next? What's next, you guys? What else you gonna throw at me?
A million screenshots.
Come on now. No.
What was that about?
What was the motivation?
Hey man, that's a clear indication that cough syrup and steam showers don't work together. It's a horrible mixture.
I have a movie question, if that's okay. Not interested in the other
Enough
stuff.
about my ass and schlong. Let's talk about my movie.
Robert De Niro plays Ray Arcel, who was an actual boxing trainer, like a legendary boxing trainer, and he has a great line where he talks about technique versus strategy, about going in the ring and how you're going to fight versus what are you going to do to out-psych the other boxer mentally, which we get to see in the film. Your strategy comes in later on. I'm just wondering, how do you approach acting as opposed to doing, let's say, an album? Do you isolate yourself from people? Do you, kind of just focus on one thing all the time? How does that compare?
Well, as it relates to being the character who I actually am in music, it's a much easier process.
Right.
As it relates to being an actor, you do have to get in that mental state, which is why I trained as a boxer and I dedicated an entire year of preparation. One, I wanted to grow my hair out because I wanted to have that fro, but I also too wanted to be able to understand what it was to stand in the ring. I've never been knocked out. And you know, I've definitely taken some punches they're still sitting with me today. But it was all worth it, man. The sweet science for Sugar Ray Leonard was space, was understanding how to take advantage of lateral movement and understand how to be light on your feet, which is something that I think most boxers learned from Sugar Ray Robinson. And Sugar, he managed to be like incredibly effortless in that process. So to capture that, I had to rely on what I do as a dancer. And, you know, I choreographed everything that I wanted to do before I got in the ring, which is something that I learned from him. He said, you know, I knew exactly what I was going to do before I got in the ring. Unfortunately, that first fight, I was so out of sorts because of how he insulted my wife and, you know, all of his racial slurs and all of the shit that he was saying about me. I just didn't know how to handle it. So I wanted to stand toe-to-toe with him and show him that no matter what you throw at me, one, I could take it, and two, I'm going to knock you out. I'm trying to knock your head off. But that wasn't, he beat him. He beat him with the strategy. But, you know, it had everything to do with preparing like a boxer. So that's what it was for me.
Tracy, give him another question, not about his song, though.
Why that mic is in your mouth right now?
Got him. I'll accept that, Mr. Raymond. Well, anyways, beyond this movie, I'm excited because.
Accept that. What are you?
Whatever. Shut up.
Oh Lord.
Everything is bad.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Listen, beyond the movie, I'm excited because you made sure to mention that you have a new album coming out.
Yes.
And obviously you're someone, no one would ever argue you holding the title as a living legend. But because the music industry has changed so much through the years, I'm wondering, with coming out with new music, do you feel more confident or more challenged?
In just releasing music has been based on passion. So I don't know if I focus on, you know, who's going to get it, how many albums are going to sell. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that anymore. I mean, now streaming is the biggest thing. As a matter of fact, the most important thing is having this opportunity right here to tell the story, to tell the reality of what you went through, how you created it, because then it gives someone a basis and a reason to go and buy your album if they are going to make the investment, because you don't have to anymore. Music, unfortunately, has become a free good. Fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately for people who can't perform live, because that's where the business is. The business is now in live performance, and you know, music is a free good to get your attention. If you have a good record, they play it on the radio, people like it, and they're motivated by it. Me, I've been motivated by what I feel, where I am. There was a break, a few breaks. I went through a lot of stuff within the process of making my next album. In that process, I stopped. So I started, I stopped, I did a movie, and as I said, I had to get into a character, so I kind of shifted my focus. So I had to reacclimate myself for a minute to know what the focus was. While I was even in that process, I worked on a few things. I worked on some stuff with Pharrell. You know, I released a few songs. I did this record, Good Kisser. And
we like
I Don't
that
Mind.
record.
So I think if anything, I took a modern approach. You know, as opposed to putting together a standard album with the expectations of having a big, huge first week or launch. It wasn't about that shit. It was about making music that people can enjoy. And since I've not come out with a record, I've been on radio. I've been on radio with Good Kisser. I've been on radio, and I did a video for that one. I Don't Mind. I didn't do a video for it. Doing, you know, records with other people. It's been about the celebration of music more for me than anything about, as it relates to releasing music, not creating this expectation. So no, you know, I don't feel that pressure, not at all. I want to continue to do what I love and make sure people enjoy it for what it is. It's well-rounded. You know, I released records with Yuna, this record called Crush. I released a record with you guys heard Matrimony?
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of things that just have been creative. I've been playing with the Roots a lot. Pause. I've been playing gigs with the Roots a lot, and been enjoying myself as an artist. I've been creative more now than I ever have been. I feel a liberty to do so. It could have been this acting gig. It could have been going to The Voice. It could have been playing, or doing the television show The Voice. Could have been any of that.
Yeah.
But I'm in a creative space where I ain't giving myself no barrier. There's no glass ceiling for me.
Oh, I love that.
And if that's what it is to be creative and be motivation for people out there, you know, who'll come after me, because I'm still running. I
Right.
started running about 20 some odd years ago, almost 30 years, and I'm still running.
You still
And
going?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I remember when
Yeah.
he started too. I'm gonna say this last thing for last. I know you got 3 minutes, but how the No Limit the remix? How did you choose who would be on that remix? And then how hard was it to master those dances
Yeah.
in the video?
Well, if you from Atlanta, we all do them. You know what I'm saying? That's Atlanta culture. And what I wanted people to get with looking at the first video is how influential I think we have been as people from Atlanta, how we have influenced culture. And even though Atlanta may not necessarily be recognized as a cultural city in terms of music, in terms of movement, in terms of dialogue and the idea of attitude in music, it's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. And I wanted people to feel that, and I wanted you to feel that from the people who created it. So if you look at the video and you see me with the kids, they created these movements that you see everybody else mocking. All these grown people, white, black, all of it, whatever. We're all mocking them because they're leading the charge. Kids have always led the charge, man.
Yeah.
The youth has always led the charge. And I
True.
wanted to make sure that we captured that. In terms of the cultural aspect of it, because I know you only got that to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like Atlanta is the lost diaspora. I feel like it is the lost diaspora of Africa, and the culture of it is all of what you're seeing in music. When you hear that 808, boom, 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 that goes back to Africa. When you see us move the way we do and shake with the girls
goes
shaking their
back to
asses and shit, that's our culture.
Okay. And
So.
the remix, real quick.
Yeah, I'm just. So anyway, you asked me about dance. I haven't done any dances for the remix. So the remix, the way I put it together is, I reached out to Wonder Girl and had her do Travis Scott's verse because I wanted his to feel a certain way. And when I heard it, I was like, you need to just produce the whole record. So then she produced the whole record. I reached out to Master P. You know, one night late at the studio, he pulled up and put his verse on and bodied it. You know what I'm saying? And then A$AP Ferg, I reached out to him. You know, of course, he did it. And 2 Chainz probably mad at me, right? So, because by the way, 2 Chainz, he actually did a version of the original, and that was a hiccup. You know what I'm saying, between the first and the second, and I had already got Young Thug's verse, so I ended up using Young Thug on the original. Okay, so I used his verse because he bodied it. Yeah, and he was like, "I'm not, you know, I like it, I love it, roll with it." Travis, I happened to be in the studio. I was at Jungle City, and he was in the next room. I was like, "Yo, I got the remix. Let's do it." Wow! So we got it done.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. Yeah. I love seeing you on the screen, and even more important.
Oh, Gucci Mane.
Gucci. Oh yeah, he came out.
Gucci.
How do you forget Gucci?
Gucci. Nah, but Gucci Mane, I reached out to him and was like, "Yo, you know, you fresh out." His first week out, I was like, "Yo, I need you to get on this remix." And you know, we fam. You know, we did Spotlight together. Polo put us together way back when. Yeah, Young Money, but Get Money, not Young Money. Get Money, but you know, that relationship led to the remix once again.
Yeah, you hot, kid. You hot on the screen. You hot in the street. You hot, kid.
11-year owner or minority owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Got a ring.
See, that was the last thing I was gonna mention.
Why you still sore?
I'm pissed. When they threw Draymond Green out of the game, I was like, this is against the Bay. The whole world is coming against the Warriors.
I was trying to wait. I didn't want to bring it up to the end, like the last minute.
I know.
So you got like allow you to retort. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, y'all threw Draymond Green. That changed the trajectory of the whole series.
You said y'all.
And so we're 1-1 in championship matches.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it the first time. We slaughtered y'all. And then congratulations. Honestly, man, I can't even
But we made history.
Y'all made
both
history.
good and bad.
Congratulations.
In that one. Has it ever happened that there's been a team 3 down and they came back and won? That's a one. That's a first in history.
Well, has it ever been a team to win?
Come on, Sway.
What was it? 72.
You can't. Hey, listen. No one will ever have that record.
73 games. Was it?
No one will ever have that record.
See you next year, Usher Raymond. see you in the championship next year, man. Hey, man, congratulations, man. Hey, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something.
One time for the Bay.
It's been absolutely an honor to be around this man's career since day one when he was a teenager to now.
Yeah.
You have one of the most celebrated careers I've had a chance to watch in this lifetime.
And I ain't done yet.
You ain't done. So
Yo.
young dude still could continue success. I can't wait to see
Thank
what's
you,
next.
man.
Usher Raymond, Sway in the Morning, Shade 4-5.
It's Sway in the morning, only
On Shade 45.